Hi everyone, I'm sorry, some message from YouTube just popped up. I am unexpectedly live today, so I do not expect anybody to be here. Now, hopefully, when I save this, it will not be private or I'll be able to change it to public. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so I did want to come in and I wanted to show you some samples for the October classes. I know it's July and I'm really ahead of myself. I'm kind of proud of myself. But I wanted to show you them while I got them done because I have a feeling with some announcements at my school today, it's going to be a little bit hectic this year, so I wanted to get them done in advance. So one of the classes we're doing is a class with candle. It's a candle stamp. Now, I did fussy cut those. If you know me, you know that I think fussy cutting is the devil. But I did fussy cut them. Now, some of them, now you see, obviously, they look better when they have a sentiment on them. And I'm assuming that this is right side up for you. I'm sorry if it's upside down. Obviously, they look better with a sentiment. I don't tend to put sentiments on them right away. Because sometimes I don't know what I'm using them for. Obviously, if it's a birthday, I know what I'm using them for. But you're going to make the 3 featured cards that we have, and the others are just there to show what you can do with the stamp and other possibilities. I've only done the 2 classes for September, October so far, and I do feel a little redundant. But it's because I'm not used to the A2 size. Now, the 3 that you get in class are the 3 featured cards, and you'll see them when you get there. And it will include everything that you need paper-wise. It will not include, of course, the inks or the tools or anything else that you need. Those are listed separately in the description. This is not up yet. This is a sneak peek. So that will all be there. And October, the supplies and inks I use, I'm going to put that as part of the group buy, providing Christina is still able to do that for us at that time. And I'm getting very close. I'd love to get November done so that we have one big group buy, but we'll see. For now, let's focus on October. So your stamp, your free gift with purchase of the class, if you're one of the first 6 people when it's posted, and I believe this class is going to be October 14th. I don't have confirmation on that yet, but if you're marking your calendars, mark your calendars. The weekend before is a 3-day weekend. The weekend after gets a little busy. We're big Halloween people. And the weekend after that's Halloween weekend and my birthday. So I think it's the 14th or, nothing. So we're going to shoot for that. So tentatively pencil that into your calendar so that you have that day free and clear. And we're still using the same format. Go ahead and refer back to the card class changes that are posted in the card class group if you've taken or already signed up for a class, or in the scrapbooking stuff group. It's already, again, it's posted and in the files section. So if you go up top and you look for files and click, you'll see there's a Word document in there that say card class changes or September 2023 card class changes, and everything is in there. Plus, there's also a video here in YouTube. So if that's easier for you, I literally went through every one of the changes. So if you had questions, it might be answered there. It might not. And if not, feel free to post. But since it's still new as of the time that I'm putting this video up there, I'm just reminding you of that. So again, our 3 featured cards. The rest, you can buy additional supplies, paper and such to do it with. To make extra cards with, you have the 2 hours. You may just want to stamp the whole time and put your cards together later. Whatever the case may be, the 2 hours is yours to do what you want with. So you see how different. Now, these are kind of the same, but I did this in black and this and this. I made a shaker. I didn't put a lot in there, and then they got stuck. There you go. So this a shaker, this not a shaker. Same thing, but they do look, different because of the color, the pop of color there. Obviously, I'm not a shaker. So these possibilities, this, again, I did not put any sentiment on. It will look different with a sentiment, but I just wasn't wasting time. I like this technique of just to resist. So there's that thrown in there. There's this. This is another sample. This is a slimline sample. So that's one of the 3 classes. We're dealing with a birthday candle stamp. Now, because it's October, and if you know me, you know I love sunflowers, and I know many people do too that have taken the classes in the fall, we are going to do sunflowers. So we have, again, some slimline, some 5x7, because I know I'm not a fan of the A2 either. I know some of you aren't. You can always adapt the techniques though, and what we're doing. So for example, you like this, but you don't like an A2 size card. Okay, make it a 5x7. You just have to stamp a little bit longer is all. Again, more slimline. And again, no sentiments on these because They might be birthday, they might be thank you, they might just be a hello or a get well. So some basic, some not. And then, like September, I tried to incorporate a fun fold. So we have a fun fold, and then this is definitely one of the featured cards for this class. That is for sure. So we'll be doing the fun fold for this class. And then, of course, we have our fancy class, and we are featuring the Spellbinders half slimline, half oval, or half slimline oval. You get the die with this class. So I'm going to try to turn these this way, and then I'll adjust them a little bit, and I'll have you see them a little better up close. So you get the die with the class, and you'll be using the die to cut your paper. None of this is pre-cut for you. You'll be getting the paper, but you'll be cutting it. And yes, I'll go through the sizes, and we'll cut together and all of those things, so no problem at all. So with this, I did 3 kind of in progression. I went from just basic paper, so you can see it, on up to something a little fancier. So let's do these one at a time here. So this is just basic paper. Now, I did do something different with the flower. Now, I have the glare on my screen from the ring above me for the light. I don't think you have it there, but it's bothering me a little bit. So see that? I used a little Wink of Stella pen. Now, I did not on this one. Now, you may see the difference here with the shimmer and the flower. And I did it only on one because you may not like it. You may like it just the way it is without anything else on it. Or you may not think to pull out your Wink of Stella. Or even if you have any of those old, remember the gel pens that were sparkles? Sometimes they came in silver, sometimes clear, sometimes white. I know we all have those in our stash somewhere. If you've been doing this a long time, especially if you're a scrapbooker or a scrapbooker and a card maker. So that will do for that. And I did it on the leaves as well. You can kind of see, oh, there you go, you got a good angle. I just kind of drew in some veins on the leaves, and I did it there as well, but not on this so that you could see. These are 8.5 by 3.5, I believe. Let me measure real quick. I got a thingy right here. I got my little glass mat. Yep, 8.5 by 3.5. And the reason for that, you know, I like 9 by 4, but the reason for that is because this die is 8.5, and when you put it together is by 3.5. So that's why that size card. And I liked it just as a frame of the card. You can certainly, when you are there, if you want to make a 9 by 4 slimline and have this in the middle so that your card base frames this, by all means, go right ahead and do that. It's just not something that I did for this. I really only made the 3 class samples for this one. So then I made this one. Now, I usually make mine horizontal, but you can use them portrait however way you want. They just fit better on the camera this way. So this just has the cluster flower. You know, I like my flower clusters on the side. This just has the flower cluster, and this is some gold shimmer or gold foil. Look, the pearls are back. Did you notice that here too? I know that's what makes it so fancy, right? The pearls are back in different spots on the cards. And there's just an offset underneath of the gold. So it makes it really pretty. Again, it's a pretty anniversary card. It can be a pretty wedding card. It can be a pretty birthday card. It can be a pretty anything card, let's face it, right? And then I did this. Now, I did not add flowers to this. I was going to take my extra pieces, and I was going to do flowers. And then I decided, no, I really like it the way it is, and I didn't want to take away from it. Now, I may change my mind. And while you can use some of the dies in class for flowers, there is a featured flower for this class that I'll talk about in a minute, and it doesn't come with dies. So what you would do then is, if you had to fussy cut, but you can't, or you don't really want to stamp right on this, you would just turn it over and stamp, trace, right, cut, you'd be all set. So that's not a problem at all, because then it would just kind of look like this, where I did not stamp. I did shape, but I didn't stamp them. You can see there are no stamp lines. I simply cut this with a die, and these will be cut with a die for you in advance, because stamping on gold foil or gold shimmer is very difficult. These are not. These you're going to stamp and color and cut yourself. So that, though, will be done for you. Not the leaves, though, just the flowers. So that's how you can do it here. And again, if you are at home, that's a little trick for you. So this I used Lindy's, and I used the Autumn Harvest, and I just used 3 of the colors. I can't tell you which ones, but if I look at them, I'll know. But I just love the way this came out. You see, I've got some texture in there, and then I've got some over there, but I have no texture really in the middle where the water was. I loved it. I put pearls on the edges, and this is where the seam is for the die. That's why you've got pearls there. So I put pearls there. I didn't even want to put pearls all around. And the flowers, I didn't want to take away from any of the middle oval. I just loved it. So up to you, but that is what we'll be using. You will have to bring your own Lindy's, but again, we will go through that, or if there are changes on that, we will let you know. So this is your sneak peek for October. September is currently open for registration. There is, as far as I know, as of this posting, there is one bundle left if you want to take all three. If you don't want the bundle, there is one fancy class left, which is the Pink Fresh class. Again, go back and take a look at those samples in that video. There's one of those left. There are 2 seats in the other 2 classes, but again, because the stamp is for the first 6, that's when we say that there are 2 seats left, because there are 2 seats left to get the free gift, which is the stamp that you'll use in class. But you can register after that. If you're the 7th or more person to register, you just won't get the stamp to take home, but we will have a couple for you to share in class with other people who may not have had it as one of the first 6 to register. So I hope that you'll put October 14th penciled in on your calendar. I hope you'll join me for some of these really pretty, really easy, very versatile cards. And stay tuned for November. Let's hope I get those done right. I hope to see you soon at the store. Thanks so much. See you then.